what did you make of his performance, obviously, yesterday? I mean, there's rumours going around that it's now 45 mil that Wolves won. I don't know how true that is, but that is the figure in hand at the moment. So that being said, I'm going to throw it to you first, Max. Would you take him? Would you have
him? You know what? The geezer is a man mountain. I've never seen someone so big in my life. When I first see Sissoko, when I first went to a game, I was like, this guy's massive. But, oh my God, even when there was times where, like, Tanganga's not a small guy, right? And then Traore just makes him look tiny. And then there's no point even mentioning Reggie. I mean, the geezer would have flattened him. And I think that's what Traore brings. I'm not saying he's going to score you 10, 15, 20 goals a season because he's not that sort of player. If he can implement that to his game, then he'd be a world beater because he can beat anyone. He's ridiculously fast. His strength speaks for itself. I mean, I don't think anyone could even look like that, even if they tried. I don't even know how he looks like that. It's pretty unbelievable. But that's what makes him different to so many other players. I don't think there's a team out there right now that. I mean, obviously, question me if you think otherwise. But why would he not necessarily start for another big side like us or whoever he goes to, whether it be Arsenal, Chelsea? Obviously, they wouldn't go there anyway. But why does he not stand a chance to get into these sides? Because he's so different to everyone else. If he can actually like adapt and grow into like shooting. Imagine him being with Son and Kane on the training ground. You telling me he wouldn't be able to improve? Everyone's throwing around this 40 million figure. It's not coming out of your pockets. I don't know why people worry so much about money these days. Grealish isn't worth 100 million, but City had the money, so they pay it. If we've got 40 million and we're going to keep hold of Harry Kane and we can add to our squad, yeah, I want a creative midfielder. Yeah, I want another centre-back. But if we're not linked with them, someone else is going to go and get Traore and watch him shine for them. 100% he's going to absolutely shine because he'll go somewhere else and be a main man. I mean, he's the main man at Wolves now. You could argue because when you think of Wolves, who are you thinking? Oh, who are we going to come up against today? Traore is the first one that comes into your head, and then you maybe think, oh, they got him, and there's Neves might score a 35-yard top corner or something, which actually surprised he didn't have a screamer yesterday. But he's the guy, and there can't be any Spurs fans surely out there that wouldn't want him. It's just they're going to say, do we need him? So there's a difference between saying do you need and do you want.
Do you know what, Max? I'm a bit torn on this guy, I'll be honest with you. I'm a bit torn because for me, look, if you want someone with strength and pace, with no end product, you could just go and sign Usain Bolt to play down the wing. But I do agree. You make some great points that he can definitely improve. And like that Kane and Sonny can definitely help and improve. And I just hope that's the case. But for me, would I lay 40 million on the table for him? I'm not sure because we already have a Stevie B in the team a bit like that.
Yeah.
It is interesting you say that.
I was going to see if you were going to elaborate on that because if I'm giving you 40 million right now to go and buy another Premier League, would you argue he's proven he's good enough to play in the Prem? He's not. You wouldn't say he'd rip up any other league. Put him if he was abroad in the Spanish league or French league, he'd be the best player in the team by far.
Yeah,
it's just I think we all forget how talented other players are around him this day and age to actually make him not look that good. Because he should be finishing that 1-on-1 against Lloris, but Lloris is a top keeper. If that was another keeper, he might have scored it. And then everyone's like, "Oh, look at Traore." Do you kind of see where I'm coming from a little bit?
I do.
It is super.
I actually think for the bigger games, I think he'd be a great player to have. I do because he can stretch them. He can get us up the field. But I was just looking at stats earlier on. Just on Traore and compared to Eric Lamela. So Eric Lamela has played 177 games. And Traore has played 142. Eric Lamela has 17 goals. Traore has 7. And assists, Lamela has 23. And Traore has 14. It's very, very, there is an argument to say that maybe Lamela is... should we got rid of Lamela and then go and spend the 40 million on Traore? But the only thing I will say is Traore obviously has more potential than what Lamela does. Lamela was coming towards the end of his career. But when you look at the stats, it doesn't look great. But no, look, I definitely think there's a point for it. I definitely think for the bigger games, coming up against a Chelsea, a United, a Liverpool, where you can get him to stretch the game, go in behind, giving the ball and let him beat 2 or 3 players, I think he'd be brilliant. And do you know what? Just listening to you there, Max, I'd take him as an option. I probably would, but not for 40 million. I'd like to spend a bit less than that.
Yeah, I think...
I'm trying to think.
Go on,
you
sorry,
can get
Max.
for 40 million though. Sorry, in the Prem, like, don't get me wrong, if you chuck 40 million and we got Neto, like, I'd be happy with that. But then they're probably not going to let him go for that. I mean, people say 25 million, but my dad will say something silly. He'll be like, "Oh yeah, why don't we offer 3 million for Messi? We'll probably get him." Like, I just feel like, yeah, these things, like 40 million in this day and age, for everything that you get in the player to make him worth that amount of money, you just aren't getting goals. Like, you're getting pretty much everything else.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you'd think he plays for Spurs because of how much I'm hyping him up, but you know what it's like. It's because we're linked with someone that's actually exciting. Like, he's an exciting player.
And someone I know, and someone I don't have to Google on YouTube.
Don't get me wrong, Bergwijn's obviously coming onto the scene a little bit, but which someone I definitely want to see more of. I don't know. It's a tough one. Would I have him at Spurs? The answer would be yes.
So, I mean, I wouldn't say no to him, but for me, I just think it's being done all backhanded. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we need to address the positions we need to address first. But then I'm also sat here thinking, Max, well, if someone else comes and snaps him up, we've maybe lost the gem. Like, it's so hard to try. And the thing is, we put ourselves in this situation. That's the thing. It's so frustrating.